Hello, welcome to our Atlanta English Institute webinar. The purpose of this webinar is to give an overview of our school, Atlanta English Institute, to international students who are planning to study English as a second language in the United States. Most students viewing this webinar have a desire to learn English and are seeking to improve their communication skills in the English language. I am Barbara Roberts. I have been at AEI since 2009, and I am currently working as the Dean of Students and Designated School Official in SEVIS. During this webinar, I will give you some important information about how AEI works, our English language training program, our curriculum, and our student services. Our discussion points will include English language programs in the U.S., English language training schools in the U.S., choosing a school, Atlanta English Institute overview, reasons to study in Atlanta, AEI admission requirements, F1 visa procedures, visa interview tips. A little later, I will introduce Ms. Salima Sultan, AEI's admissions coordinator. Salima will help you to understand the entire admissions process, and she will provide you with some helpful visa tips. I would like to begin by giving some background about intensive English programs in the U.S. Intensive English programs, IEP, are approved to enroll non-immigrant students by the Student and Exchange Visitor Program, CVIP, under the U.S. government. There are 9,800 CVIP certified schools to enroll non-immigrant students. Only about 1,000 schools offer intensive English programs. Intensive English programs help students to improve their English language skills. Intensive English programs focus on speaking, listening, reading, and writing English. The following will inform you about English language training schools in the U.S. English language training schools may be combined schools or standalone private schools. Although both combined schools and standalone schools offer intensive English programs, there are some important differences. Combined schools generally have an IEP program contained within the college or university. Combined schools have larger class sizes. Standalone private schools focus only on intensive English programs. Standalone private schools have fewer students in each class, and students are able to receive more individualized attention. AEI is a standalone private school. When choosing a school, you might carefully consider the school's curriculum, what you will learn, instructors' qualifications, who will teach you, the number of students in each class, the resources for international students, student services provided for international students, the location of the school. Is the school in a small town or a big city? The information just mentioned is background about intensive English programs. Now I would like to give you a specific overview about Atlanta English Institute. AEI has been an English language training school communication specialists since 1993. AEI has been certified by the U.S. government to enroll non-immigrant students since 1999 and to issue I-20 visas. AEI has two very important accreditations that approve our program: Commission on English Language Program Accreditation, CEA, which is a highly important certification for IEPs, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, SACS-CASI, since 2003. AEI's mission is to provide the best instruction and services possible for students. To continue, AEI has affordable tuition. AEI strives to provide a nurturing environment, a home away from home. AEI has experienced and outstanding instructors with doctorate and master's degrees and TESOL certifications. We offer a complete program of study from beginner to advanced. AEI's class size allows a maximum of 12 students with an average of 6 students per class. We have a very trained and qualified administrative staff, and AEI provides student services and resources, including free courtesy shuttle service from the Mater train station to the school. Now a little information about Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is a large international city. Atlanta has a good climate, mostly moderate, with 4 seasons. There are museums and historical places of interest, as well as beautiful parks for biking, hiking, fishing, and swimming. Atlanta has fine and interesting restaurants, and it offers convenient access to the largest airport in the south of the U.S. You can find international grocery stores and many international businesses. Next, Salima Sultan, AEI's admissions coordinator, will give you detailed information about obtaining a student F1 visa and applying to AEI.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara, and thank you to our prospective students and all others watching this webinar for your interest in enrolling at the Atlanta English Institute. I am Salima Abdul Sultan and currently working as admissions coordinator at the Atlanta English Institute. I have been at AEI since 2010. I am responsible for all activities related to the admission of domestic and international students. I represent Atlanta English Institute by being the first point of contact for all prospective students and their families, and will work with you throughout until the end of your admission process. I will discuss, advise, and guide you regarding international student admission process and other related immigration matters. To begin your English language training at AEI, I will provide you with detailed information about the criteria and procedure for admission. Following is the general criteria for admission into AEI. High school graduate or the age of 17 or older, which is the adult age according to Georgia law. Literate at entry level. Satisfactory placement test. Should be able to show financial capability and provide all required documentation, which will be detailed later in the presentation. Atlanta English Institute is authorized by the federal government to enroll non-immigrant alien students, which means that AEI can issue CVIS I-20s. You may follow the following steps if you are looking to get an F1 student visa in order to attend the Atlanta English Institute. There are generally 3 different categories of F1 students. Initial entry are the students applying from their home country or overseas. The documentation required by AEI to issue an I-20 would be a completed AEI application, copy of your passport, and required financial documentation along with your initial payment. Atlanta English Institute will then prepare a completed I-20 and other required documentation within 5 business days. Pay a $200 I-901 CVIS fee, which is a government fee and distinct from the AEI application fee. Apply to the U.S. Embassy for a student visa and your interview. Notify the school of your visa approval. Contact AEI when you arrive in the United States in order to schedule your placement test. Now, transfer students. When applying to the Atlanta English Institute from another CVIS approved school, you will have to notify your current school about your intention to transfer. The documentation required by AEI to issue an I-20 would be a completed AEI application along with the initial payment, copy of your current valid I-20, copy of your visa, passport, I-94 and required financial documentation. After that, forward AEI transfer in form to your current school along with the acceptance letter. After receiving your CVIS record, a new I-20 from AEI will be created and issued. Once your transfer is complete, schedule an appointment to take your placement test prior to your start date. In case of a mid-session start, an immediate placement test may be scheduled. And finally, the change of status. Atlanta English Institute is able to assess prospective students who are in the United States on other visa types to change to student status. For example, from a B1, B2 or J visa status or any other visa to the F1 student visa status. The documentation required by AEI to issue an I-20 would be a completed AEI application along with the initial payment, copy of your visa, passport, I-94, and required financial documentation. Pay a $200 I-901 fee, which is a government fee and distinct from the AEI application fee. Submit your change of status application to USCIS. Please contact the admission office regarding specific criteria and procedure. Notify the school of your change of status approval. Schedule a placement test appointment immediately after approval or as appropriate pertaining to your visa status. Additionally, Atlanta English Institute is able to assist those who have lost their student status. In case of a reinstatement, please contact the admissions office with detailed information. Non-F1 students include those who are currently in the Atlanta, Georgia area or are planning to relocate from within the United States and do not require F1 status or change of status or are short-term tourists. All non-F1 students are required to complete the following 3 parts to the admission process in order to enroll at AEI. Complete AEI application, make an initial payment, and schedule a placement test. Being an international student, all F1 students are governed by certain laws and regulations. As admissions coordinator, I will guide you regarding different immigration matters pertaining to international students, which would be within the legal boundaries of US laws, procedures, school policies, and in accordance with CVIS compliance. For your consideration, we have developed what we hope will be a helpful document entitled Visa Interview. Do a thorough research and study. Call the U.S. Embassy regarding your appointment, required documentation, and the payment. Review the guidelines on the website mentioned on this page. At the time of your visa interview, be well prepared. Bring all school documentation and other necessary documents to the embassy. Answer questions respectfully, carefully, truthfully, and clearly. Remember, 2 main things are required: your intention to return and sufficient funds present in your financial documentation. Now, I will give you few more helpful interview tips that have been taken from NAFSA and we have revised it recently. Anticipate that the interview will be conducted in English and not in your native language. One suggestion is to practice English conversation before the interview. Speak for yourself. Do not bring your parents or family members with you to the interview. Be able to articulate the reasons you will study at AEI and know the program that you have applied to. Because of the high volume of applications received, all counselor officers are under considerable time pressure to conduct a quick and efficient interview. The best answers are usually short, to the point, and truthful. The documentation provided to the counselor officer should be in order and quickly understandable. Be aware of any issues associated with your country. If your spouse and children are remaining behind in your country, be prepared to address how they will support themselves in your absence. Do not engage in an argument. Maintain a positive attitude. Remember, they are the authority, not you. If you are denied a student visa, ask the interviewer for a list of documents they would suggest you bring in order to overcome the denial. Please remember that each applicant is viewed within the context of their environment. It is no exaggeration that applicants come from every walk of life with a diversity of experience and background. Given the varied applicant circumstances, judgment cannot be made about the value or worth of one student experience relative to another student. Each applicant is considered to determine what that applicant contributes to the life of the school. I would be able to review your application material and answer any questions you may have. As shown on the screen, you may reach me at 770-455-9226 and the extension would be 10, or by email at sasultan@atlei.com or admissions@atlei.com or through an inquiry on our website at www.atlei.com. Now, I would like to thank all of you for your interest in enrolling at the Atlanta English Institute and for providing us with a chance to serve you better. Thank you.
Now that you have learned about Atlanta English Institute, it is really up to you to decide what is best for you with your ESL studies. We will be honored to help you with any questions you may have. All of your questions are important to us, and we want to give you all the information you need. We hope to hear from you.